I had a variation on chow. I was in Melbourne a few years ago, and I was meeting a lot of Chinese people, and I wanted to be able to say something in Chinese. So I worked out in my head that a way of saying good morning in Cantonese would be to mix the Italian with the morning. So I put together chow, sun. The sun comes up in the morning. If you put the two together quickly, it becomes cho sun. Good morning in Cantonese. So anyway, you're all very welcome to this international conference of physiological regulated medicine, the future of the management of acute, chronic, and autoimmune inflammatory diseases. A little note of housekeeping. It is vital that you all return your feedback document, and within 5 days these need to come back in order to earn your very valuable 7 European CME points. I hope that satisfies that requirement. My name is Dr. John Dunphy, or to go by Sean Dunphy, and I reckon this conference represents a major paradigm shift in modern therapeutics. Most professions are slow to embrace new ideas, especially the medical establishment. You would think, however, that the study of physics, based on numbers, based on experiments and logic, would be different. But no. At a Nobel Prize giving ceremony a few years ago, the recipient observed that physics advances funeral by funeral. So the boss doesn't change his mind. Paradigm shifts act like beacons in the world of finance. If you miss them, you miss the boat, and you sink with the old paradigm. The word paradigm comes from the classical Greek paradigm. Recent examples of this. Nokia of Finland started life manufacturing Wellington boots and ended up as the global dominant in mobile phone technology. They dominated the entire global market, but they failed to notice the arrival of Steve Jobs and his smartphone, and suffered the devastating consequences. In the 70s, the Swiss watchmakers dominated the entire world of watchmaking. They developed spectacular flywheels, spectacular springs, spectacular ability to waterproof their products. They were light years ahead of the opposition. Their own research team developed the electronic quartz, which did not need any of the sophistication that the Swiss had spent years developing. They laughed at its simplicity and thought nobody would have the remotest interest in this. So sure were they that they actually put it on display at that year's World Congress in Geneva. Seiko of Japan took one look, and 1 year later, 10,000 watchmakers were made redundant in Switzerland, a small country. Similarly, in medicine, when I was in medical school, there was an entire industry built around gastric ulcers and duodenal ulcers, until two very brave and tenacious Aussie doctors got the Nobel Prize for their description and discovery of the significance of H. pylori, Helicobacter pylori. Here in Dublin in the 50s, Dr. Patrick Collins discovered that a dilution of procaine hydrochloride applied to the skin could have an immune modulating effect in rheumatoid arthritis. His granddaughters, both physicians, still practice at their Lucan clinic. A paradigm shift is currently underway in relation to gut bacteria. I was at a conference 2 days ago in UCC where the professor of psychiatry, Ted Diamond, demonstrated the effects of gut bacteria on mood, anxiety, depression, and even in schizophrenia. He also made observations which I found fascinating, was that the total weight of your gut bacteria is that of your brain. And more than 50% of your DNA is stored by your gut bacteria. So a perfect symbiotic relationship. We feed our gut bacteria and they store our DNA for us. Australian television a year ago produced an excellent 2-part series called Gut Reaction, which I have on my website if anyone wishes to see it at some stage. Yesterday, Israeli research announced that they had developed eye drops of nanoparticles that will dispense with the need for glasses. a true paradigm shift in the making. With that, I introduce our first speaker today, and it's Dr. Alessandro Perra from Italy, who I heard speak a year ago. I can guarantee you all a fascinating presentation. I'll give you a little bibliography on Dr. Perra. So Dr. Perra qualified in medicine in 1991. Dr. Perra is an expert researcher in the field of therapeutic effects of low-dose interleukins on cells. He is a member of the Center of Research and Study on Biological Effects of Nano Concentrations and is secretary of the International Academy of Physiological Regulating Medicine. Over the years, he has lectured in the UK, the USA, Israel, France, Albania, Mexico, Colombia, Canada, Venezuela, Italy, and others. In May 2016, he spoke at the oncology session of the international conference, the Future Health Summit in Dublin. Dr. Perra is an author and co-author of more than 100 papers on physiological regulating medicine, therapeutic effects of low-dose cytokines, and other related subjects published in a number of medical and scientific journals. So I give you Dr. Perra.
Thank you.